G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy car cards so you can tat it up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up.
Don't unplug anything. Let's go. Clap hands there. Sinker. Professional, see? Add it in because it could be a
t-shirt in, the way.
Yes, indeed.
Did you wear yours?
I know. You had to do that, didn't you?
I bought mine.
He bought his. Podcast Nation. You can do it now for Rhodri Giggs and Rhodri Giggs on Football Friday 7:30.
I'll just start it.
What's happening? Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on Football. This is episode number 22. Apologies for being a little bit late this evening. My computer was being a bit funky, so I had to do some bits and pieces. And you'll see the background is wrong, but we're all good. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as always. And as you know by now, Ace Podcast Nation, you're home to a great show and series featuring top guests, expert analysts, and more. So please do give us a follow on social media, subscribe on YouTube, click the bell for notification, all that good stuff. And if you prefer your podcasts in audio platforms or listening to them, you can get them at all the usual places, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. Just get them through the Sports Social Podcast Network, the UK's first dedicated sports podcast network. And it's a good one as well, I got to say. But as you know, we're raising money for charity, the Super 6 Prediction League this season, raising money for Maggies Centres and Mind Mental Health Charity. So we'll give a little update on how the players are doing. But of course, a little disclaimer, Rhodri missed the first 5 weeks. So we've got to be aware of that because the gap is big. But Reece Irrison had a good week this week, scored 14 points. Close behind him was the birthday boy, Gareth Price, with 11. It moved back up to the top of the table. So happy birthday to Mr. Price. From the celebrity players, Cohen Griffith came out on top with 8. I wasn't far behind on 6, but Rhodri still managed to claw back 2 points, coming second. So the next round is 3 o'clock on Saturday for the FA Cup. But just so we know, the gap between myself and Rhodri at the moment is 27 points. Massive. Unassailable lead, some would say.
I didn't understand
it's just one of those things, isn't it? And my phone. Yeah, that's it, mate. But of course, joining me, Ex Salford City winger, manager, extraordinaire, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, my friend? You all right?
Yeah, it's happening. So you survived,
struggled, mate. Survived, yeah, just about, mate. It was a rough. The first few days, mate, was rough. I gotta say, but after that, it was pretty much all right. Threw me a little bit because it just come on sudden. Like I was like, it was like 20 minutes on the Friday night. I was like just getting ready, just having a cup of coffee, getting ready to do a show with Joe Jacobson, and then all of a sudden just went, oof, just felt really bad. So I texted him and said, "Oh mate, I think we're gonna have to swerve this. Just something going on. And I did a PCR the next morning, on the Saturday morning, and come up positive. I think we had it back in like 8 hours or something stupid. Come back really quick. But like for the whole week, and when I was feeling at my worst over the weekend, my lateral flow tests were all negative still. So that's a bit mad, like, but just rough, mate. That was it. But it's the first time in years where I did like no podcasts for a whole week. So I by like this last Sunday just gone, I was climbing the walls a little bit. Needed to hear the sound of my own voice, mate. Needed to talk some stuff. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? How are you, mate? You all right? Good week?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. It's been
eventful.
Seems like it's been ages, but yeah, I'm good.
It's been an interesting week, mate. There's quite a lot has happened. You have to excuse me coughing. I've still got the after effects of it. But so like, look, you can't avoid it. We're gonna have to talk about the Mason Greenwood thing. Like, obviously, it's in the hands of the police and stuff now. So I want to kind of focus more on the impact from the football side of it. So for like the impact on the United squad as a whole, the football club as a whole, but also there's like 3, I think, Premier League players now out on bail from big clubs, big international players who are out on bail for a variety of different charges and whatever. Like, what can football clubs do more? Because they can't control what these players are doing every second of every day. It is very difficult. But ultimately, I think with those young footballers as well, like the ones who are coming up through their academy, do football clubs have a responsibility to kind of, I don't know what the right word is, because you can't educate someone just to be a decent human being. Like, they feel like that should be a given. But I don't know, what more can football clubs do with young players to make sure that they're doing the right things?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're probably doing it, but these things they're not happening every week, so it's shocking to hear. It's not good, and it's the kind of stuff that kids are going to continue to do, because they just get away with murders these days. So they just think they can do whatever they want. Back in our day, we get a slap, or it was dealt with a different way. You can't do that anymore. So yeah, it's worrying when you hear all his teammates are unfollowing him. No one's sticking by him and trying to educate him and say, this is not right, what you're doing, you can't do this, but instead they're trying to get as far away as possible. That's worrying, because even though, if he was my teammate, you'd be saying, what the fuck are you doing? And you'd be speaking to him and trying to educate him. You won't be trying to distance yourself from him, but these players that these days they've got their own opinions on it, and so it's
difficult,
just,
isn't it? I said it's a difficult situation. I'm talking the other team, like his teammates and stuff. It's difficult for them, isn't it? Because like, and I'm not, it's but at the end of the day, if he's done what he seems like he's done, he's got to live with that. And my thoughts are with with his ex-partner or partner, I'm not sure if they're still together or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, no one should have to go through that stuff. And I wish that it was not a thing generally, not even just in this case, but just generally. I wish it wasn't a thing. But like, I've seen all sorts of shit on social media this week, and it's horrible. Some of it, like, I don't really understand it. And I think part of the problem is that these footballers they get so much money before they've made it, so they never get told no. They've had every luxury in life by the time they're 19, 20. And
I agree with you, but we're talking about a possible £100 million player here. We're not talking about any Tom, Dick, and Harry just on 20 grand a week. You know, this kid's got proper potential. So I've talked about him numerous of times. You know, the kid's a star, but obviously he's got issues, real issues that need solving. And you know, in this day and age, can you recover from something like that?
The problem, I think, the arrests that they added a couple of days later.
Well, they've obviously gone through the phones, and he's seen text messages saying, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." You know, again, these footballers, they're not bright, so they probably there's a whole load of evidence. Does he mean it? No, probably not. But the way he sounds and the way that, you know, it's still not right for the girl to go through that kind of stuff. So it's you know, I've seen it growing. I've seen it growing up. These girls as well. These groupie girls. You know, but this is nothing to do with it. This isn't the case. But you know, it's a problem for young footballers because girls are throwing themselves at them. You know, there's recording devices and there's all kinds of stuff. I'm glad that wasn't around in my day. So yeah, it's.
Here's the thing, like, which I had a conversation with someone the other day, and they were like, they just basically said, look, he's 20 years old, he's on all this money, he's never been told no, etc., etc. So, like, if he gets charged with it and he goes to jail and he does his time and he comes back out, he should be allowed. And this is going to kind of go on to the David Goodwillie thing with Wraith as well in a minute. He should be allowed to then come back and, you know, try and rebuild his life and stuff. But my counter to that is, no matter how much money you've got, like, and the other thing is, I don't know what his situation was growing up in terms of, like, financially, if the family was poor and stuff like that, or if they've already come from money and stuff like that. But, like, whether you're in a privileged position from a job or you've got money, you know the difference between, even with the lowest, like someone says there, if you've got the lowest of intelligence, you know the difference between treating someone like shit or, like, hurting someone and not hurting someone. But
this is you touched on it though. This is a problem for footballers and young footballers who've grown up stars and been treated like stars and been able to get away with certain stuff. Now you can do that, but you know, you can only get so far with it. No, perfect example, you know, my brother. I don't want to go into details, but you know, he was allowed to get away with so much, and then, you know, eventually it all blows up. So you know, you can touch on a number of people, and all these people have been stars from a very, very young age and got away with a load of, and they think they can do what they want. And they just can't. And eventually, you know, the powers diminish and people just don't put up with it. And it all comes out. So we've seen it numerous times and it will see it again. But to this level, I don't know. It's just, it's just unfortunate. Just the way the audio itself.
It's horrifying.
You know, you feel for the girl because, you know, I watched my dad grow up, talk to my mum like shit like that, and it's just that's what memories it brought back for me. So it it's just not good. But you know, he's 20. It just needs educating. I don't think, you know, he's not up for 7 or 8 rapes like that certain players are, but you know, it's a problem that he's got and it needs addressing.
Yeah, and like as Smog on the Time rightly says, he hasn't been charged yet. So that's why I was trying to keep it like generally and not necessarily just about Mason Greenwood. There's other players and
stuff with certain stuff. Certain stuff you don't get the details. Everyone's heard the audio. Everyone's seen some of the evidence. Usually, when he gets to court, you don't hear any of the evidence until it gets to court.
Until the court.
People have heard it, and by hearing it doesn't
form an opinion.
Good. Now, stuff can be edited in a certain way, but still, you know, it's still you don't talk to people like that.
It's extremely problematic.
So it's just so people make their own judges from that. Usually, you don't get that kind of information.
Yeah, and a lot of the time in these sorts of cases, you get your information from like newspapers and journalists and things like this, and you're always kind of half thinking, because everyone knows what the media.
You're not half thinking if it's come from newspapers. You know it's bullshit.
Yeah, and then because it came out in the way it did, you wouldn't be human if you didn't form an opinion. Like you just said there, it reminded you of like the way your dad used to speak to your mum. It reminded me of some stuff as well, and I was just like, it was not nice. And like I mentioned about the conversation I had with someone earlier in the week about him, if he gets charged and if he goes to jail, which let's be honest, the charges he's got at the moment, like the threats to kill and stuff added on top of it, I think if he was charged with that stuff and found guilty, he'd be looking at a good few years in prison. Like
I don't see
where do you stand? Do you not?
No, I don't see it.
Okay.
It's just the girl seems to be wanting to get involved with it. It's come out mistakenly. The father with her statement, you could debate what he said there. So, and
so
yes, he could get some. I don't think he'll get prison though. I do not. Not at 20 years of age. First offence. There wasn't actually any. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into details.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he may be community service, probation. The kid needs educating. Doesn't need prison.
So, where do you stand on not just him, other footballers as well, who've got various charges, whether it's with.
We'll go back to
where do you stand with if they get you prison,
because you don't know the details. It's going at court at the minute. Yes, it doesn't look good because it's a number of cases. So
what do you think about?
Good, but
what I was going to say is, what do you think if
until you get the facts? Because I know what girls can be like as well.
Yeah. Well, what about from this point of view then? If any of them are found guilty, no one in particular, just any of them are found guilty and they do some jail time, say a few years, they come out, they're young enough that they want to get back into football.
Won't happen.
Do you think they should be allowed to, or do you think that no, that's it? If you can rebuild your life and get a job wherever you want to do, but football is such a privileged position that you lose that privilege.
Yeah, it's football clubs are communities and everyday people, and people won't put up with it anymore. You've seen the Rafe Rovers stuff in the last couple of days.
Yeah,
the people have put the foot down and they don't want nothing to do with people like that. So yeah, we've seen the Chet Evans thing, and he eventually got turned round. So you can understand why he got a job. But yeah, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to choose another profession, or save some of your money if you've got any more left after your lawyer fees, and just Mason Greenwood. It's going to be very difficult for him as well. The social media from now on to his end of career. Anytime he posts anything, you're going to see rapists, you're going to see this. You know what people are like. So, you're always going to have to deal with that. Always. Yeah. So you have to be mentally strong to deal with that. And then, obviously, deal with the other stuff with a time playing career. But I don't see it, Si. I don't see it at all. If you've been in prison for any kind of rape, when you've been in a privileged position and there's communities involved, everyday people who are involved in these clubs, it's not going to happen. So and rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there needs to be an example set of, because girls, yes, they do, entice people, but no, they shouldn't be treated like that. The way some of them get treated, it's just not right. And they need to make an example. If he is found guilty, he needs to be made an example of. Give him years, not months, years. because these footballers can't keep doing it.
At the end of the day, if he's convicted of the things that at the moment seem to be being investigated, he deserves prison. He deserves to get what he gets at the end of the day. You mentioned Wraith Rovers, and I wanted to speak about that because that was kind of came out around the same time. But they signed David Goodwillie, who's been, he's been playing football for the last few years. But in his case, the CPS didn't charge him for it because they said it was a lack of evidence. But the lady involved took him to civil court in Scotland, and he was found guilty of rape in civil court. So the Wraith Rovers have signed him. So you've had Val McDermott, the author, who's largely funded that football club in recent years through sponsorships and things like that. The ladies captain of Wraith Rovers team. They've all the goodwill they've built up in the community over the last couple of years has kind of all gone, and they've really been hit by the shitstorm. And because they've signed him, they kind of had to stick by him because they would look stupid from a PR point of view, from their point of view. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but and I saw there was correlating things. People were saying he should be allowed to rebuild his career. To me, that's bullshit. Do you know why there's a difference, or why I would say David Goodwillie is different? Is he's shown no remorse. He hasn't acknowledged what he did. He's never apologized for what he did. He's never tried to do anything like that. He has just kind of gone on with his life and whatever. And I think for the woman involved, she's not been able to do that. So yeah, if he wants to rebuild his life, that's fine, but he shouldn't be doing it at a football club, especially those small clubs in Scotland, mate. They are largely built on community and they have close contact with the fans and with kids and with women and children and all this.
Yeah,
sort of
and
thing.
it's if these women as well, if someone's working in an office or working in a van, they're not going to be sat at home and this face is going to pop up on the news or pop in the newspaper or pop up on the phone because he scored a goal or done well. It's just it's just like I say, it's when you're in a privileged position like that. I don't know the details of this one. I've just known it over the last couple of days that obviously Wraith Rovers, but has he been playing before it got to Wraith Rovers?
Yeah. From what I could gather, from a football point of view, he's been, scoring goals quite regularly as far as I know. He was linked with Cardiff years ago before this happened. Yeah, and that was a big thing is he's never taken any responsibility for it. He's never apologized. Reese says, can someone explain the difference between civil court and CPS? Well, the CPS is the Crown Prosecution Service, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, Rod. Basically, when the police have gathered all their evidence and they want to press charges or whatever, the CPS are the ones who decide.
Civil court. I remember with the O.J. Simpson, he got off with it in court, and then he got took to civil court, and they got millions.
So I just seen now. Actually, I didn't know this when I started talking about it, which I should have had a look again. Wraith Rovers have actually pulled out of the signing by the looks of it. But they've
and the chairman's resigned. But hearing today, they want everyone gone. The manager, the directors, they want everyone out.
Everyone who thought it was a good idea, basically. But yeah, I thought it was going to come to that because, and that's
where's he been before? But got to Wraith Rovers.
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking at. So let's look. David Goodwillie. He was. I lost the thing. He's definitely been playing because he signed from someone. He wasn't like a free or whatever.
So why didn't the people where he signed from have a problem with him playing?
This is it, isn't it? It's I think the Wraith, right? So he's been playing for Clyde since 2017. He scored 140 goals. 92 goals and 142 appearances. He was. Goodwill, he has 3 times been convicted of assaults committed in 08, 09, 010, and then in 2011 was the incident with he was accused of raping this woman with his teammate, and then in a civil court case in 2016. So Clyde signed him after about a year after the civil case. So yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, football clubs shouldn't be touching players like that. But there was.
It's difficult to say that when it's been through the courts and,
Yeah,
and he's been found not guilty. Yes.
Well, he never went. And they didn't charge him through.
Well, this is what I mean. So he's not even got to court because the CPS have thought there's not enough evidence. But
then the civil case, he was found guilty. I think how much does the civil case mean in terms of? I don't know. So that's what I'm sure.
I think it's different, the kind of evidence and the way they go about it on the civil case. I'm not quite sure, though.
So Leslie says in the chat there, he says that basically the civil court means that he hasn't been convicted in the eyes of the law, but he was convicted in the civil course, and then he's had to pay a compensation of $100,000 by the looks of it. But I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult in some ways because he hasn't been found guilty in terms of he's not been found guilty in a court of law, but equally a court of some sort, whether it's civil course. So, excuse me. Craig says a civil court is only on the balance of probabilities. So, like, basically 51% is, whereas criminal is supposed to be beyond reasonable doubt. So, he hasn't been convicted in the eyes of the law, but on the balance of probabilities, he did it in terms of from a civil court. So I mean, I don't know. It is tricky, but at the end of the day, the people at Wraith Rovers, the sponsors, some of the players, whatever, the female players, they weren't happy with it. They made a stand. Good for them. I think that's, if they feel that that's the right thing to do or the wrong sign-in or for the club, etc., they should make that stand. But it goes back to that original question, mate. Should someone who's been convicted of that sort of crime be allowed to rebuild their football career? Like, who was the footballer who killed someone in a hit and run a few years ago and then was back?
Lee Hughes.
Yeah, that's it. Like, is that right? Do you know? I'm not saying my opinion's the right one. I'm asking a question, because I don't know where I stand.
No, but I'm pretty sure there was a big fuss about it when he come to one of the clubs, and then he ended up going somewhere else. I'm not too sure on that either. But this one as well. When it's difficult when someone's done a crime and served the time, but there's certain crimes that.
So
Lee Hughes killed someone, but did he mean to kill someone?
Was convicted of dangerous driving, and he killed a man and his wife.
They're all different. They're all difficult situations, horrible situations. So just pray, they don't happen, but obviously they do.
So, and there was, of course, Luke McCormack, the Plymouth goalkeeper, was the same thing. Leslie says there's nothing wrong with them coming back into football. We all make mistakes. Yeah, but I just feel like there's mistakes, and there's making mistakes when you're younger, and then there's things you can't come back from. And for me personally, killing someone and sexual assault or rape are kind of things you shouldn't be. I don't believe you can come back from in terms of a football career and stuff like that. Maybe people will disagree with me. That's just where I stand on it. Like, there's one thing making those mistakes that all young people make. Not all young people do those things. And of course, you've got Adam Johnson as well. Like, the Adam Johnson one was particularly bad for me because I felt like he took advantage of the fact that she was a fan as well as the fact that she was underage and whatever else. Like, he used his position to do it.
Yeah,
right.
That was, again, difficult situation and one that he should have known better.
Yeah, it's and like GD Pie says, harming another human being is not a mistake. And I think when it comes to those more serious crimes that I just mentioned, I'm just not incredibly comfortable with like then cheering them on for your team. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and maybe people disagree. Like Craig says there, Leslie Grantham was done for murder and then ended up as one of the most iconic bad guy characters in EastEnders history. So I don't know.
Snoop Dogg killed someone.
Yeah, there's a few around.
He's loved.
It's a very it's not a nice situation. It's difficult, and like we don't want to like upset anyone or whatever, and we're just kind of talking about it. They've been big stories.
Allegedly killed someone. He got away with it, didn't he?
Yeah, wasn't there something with Snoop Dogg? Wasn't there something like he was with his bodyguard and someone come at him with a gun and they kind of shot the guy who come at him? That was the story anyway. But
the guy was shot in his back.
Ah, right, okay. So yeah, it makes it less like there's loads. How many celebrities you could put if you brought up a list of celebrities who've been done for serious crimes? There's hundreds, isn't there? Who've done serious stuff. Yeah, you're right, Rob. This is a depressing show. Let's move on to actual football. We'll all be crying by the end of this, right? Let's cheer ourselves up.
Get onto Wazza.
Before we get onto Wazza, let's cheer ourselves up. Let's talk about Arsenal's transfer window. Is it the worst in history?
Oh, I don't know. United's pretty drab as well. We've not brought anyone in, and we've lost 2 players.
Potentially upset Lingard as well.
Yeah, he needs time off to clear his mind.
But the crazy thing is, though, mate, right? Is like Lingard could end up playing like 20 games now the rest of this season. The way it's worked out, because Greenwood's not going to be playing. You've got Martial's gone. Rashford's been, he scored a couple of goals more recently. So Lingard could end up playing quite a lot of games now.
Yeah.
And then if he has another run like he did for West Ham, will Ralph Rangnick fancy him? Do you know what I mean? It's weird how things.
It's not going to happen, Si. If he plays and he plays out on the right, on the left, he needs to be in the middle. So that's where he gets all his goals. Doesn't want to be out on the left or on the right. People forget he's a number 10 or he's a midfielder. When he did that, played that for United, he's just doing a job. So and he's not. He does. Don't get me wrong. He does okay. He does a good job there, but that's not his position. It's not where he wants to play.
Yeah, Arsenal obviously got rid of Aubameyang, and they've left themselves with two recognised strikers in what's his name, Eddie Nketiah, I think his name is. He was on loan at Leeds previously. He scored like 1 goal, I think, in the last couple of seasons, and Lacazette, who's not in good form. That is a big ask for a football club of the size of Arsenal. It's mind-boggling to think that they didn't think that they needed additional players or quality.
No, but if you he's obviously striving to get to a certain place, and if them players aren't available, why bring them in just for the sake of it? And you just, I can't understand why people are not agreeing with this Aubameyang not going. He's been given captain. He's numerous times turning up late. The guy's a bad egg. He needs to be out of the dressing room.
They had to get rid of him.
So,
but then, if they had no
players, I would have kept him and would give him 20 games and put him in the shop window. Oh, shut up! These are people that played like Crystal Palace and Newcastle and haven't won a tap. So, it's at Gabby Angbon Lahore, people like that. You've never won a thing in their life. So, yeah, it's you need to get rid.
I think he had to make a choice, didn't he? He had to decide whether Aubameyang was a bad enough egg that he just had to go no matter what, or I keep him because I haven't got the bodies to last the season. And he made the decision that no, he's caused so much problems. I'd rather go in with the youth players than him. So I think that tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's
he'd
a
rather go with
certain
youth players.
standard, and if you don't care who you are, you're down the road. And let's get it right. He's no Thierry Henry or Ian Wright.
No.
So just 2 months late down the line, they won't even remember his name. So, guy's a clown by the sounds of it.
Yeah, he sounds. He's not the first club he's caused trouble at either. Wayne Rooney revealed last weekend that Everton had invited him to come for an interview for their managerial job. He revealed that he wasn't interested in. He told his agent he wasn't interested. But I wanted to list some of the things, mate, before I get your take on that Rooney's had to deal with, or what he's done in his time at Derby. So this is kind of how he's dealt with stuff. He found out about the club's financial situation during a Sky Sports interview from the person who was interviewing him. He had to use the club doctor's phone to try and get in touch with him. He only had 13 players registered at the start of the season. He gave his personal phone number to the supporters club to ensure they were being kept up to date with the situation. He bought training equipment and away accommodation himself when the club couldn't afford it. He reassured everybody he wouldn't leave the club just because things were getting tough. He told the players that he'd take the criticism and stand up for them all. He slept at the training ground due to the long hours. He played fan-written poems to the players ahead of their 2-0 victory against Sheffield Wednesday. He's given 20 academy players their debuts. Has 3 league tables in the dressing room. The original one, the one with no points deductions, and the one with the minus 12 points deductions to motivate the squad. I believe, and I've said this before, if he keeps Derby County up, mate, he is automatically the manager of the year. Automatically. Because I think it's not only unprecedented, but he could have left this last weekend, gone to Everton, and no one would have slagged him off or, said, because he had stuck around for the first part of the season. He hadn't gone in the summer. So he could have left and no one would have criticised him. But he still is, whether it's pride, motivation, whatever you want to call it, he wants to see the job through. He wants to keep Derby County up. And over the years, I've not been Derby County's biggest fan. But I got to say, as long as it's not at the expense of Cardiff, I really hope they stay up.
Well, like I said to you last night, it's probably down to 4 now with Cardiff's big win last night. But there's still 17 games.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Derby have got 17 games. Some teams around them have got more, but they still have to win them games. But I think they'll do it, mate. I think the way they're going on, I think it'll go down to the wire, and I think they might just do it. And from what you just said there, it just sounds...
It's unbelievable, mate, isn't it?
Pardon?
Unbelievable, some of the stuff he's had to put up with.
Yeah, for the size of Derby County. When you sent me today, all that stuff, it reminded me when I was at Salford. So when I took over at Salford, I was going to take over at the start of the season, and the chairman and a coach said, no, we'll do it. And by October, we had 3 points. And I took over, and for the last 3 or 4 years, they fought relegation at every year. So I took over, and then they had 3 points in October, and we ended up, finishing mid-table. And then they start with a big budget off. They were going to do well, and then it's once that, and they dropped the budget within, a certain amount of months, and you just lose players, and you lose them. But he hasn't lost any of these players, and the way they were playing, I was telling you yesterday when I was watching the game, it was a good game, even though they was down to 10 men. You can see that the work rate they're putting in, and they have got quality, but they're just lacking in. Hopefully, they're just lacking in numbers, and hopefully they don't get injuries and they don't get too many sending offs, because that's going to hamper them massively. Because I'm pretty sure if they had 11 men yesterday, they would probably got a result, because they were the better side with 10 men. So, but it's going to go down to the wire, and like I say, hopefully Cardiff have got themselves out of it now with that win, another one, and they're on the way. So, but I think it's Reading, Peterborough, Derby, and Barnsley. So one of them's going to stay up, and I think it might be Derby. But like I say, it's going to go to the wire.
Absolutely.
But like I say, when you kind of lose, you lose players, and he hasn't lost them at all. And credit to him, because he doesn't need this crap. He's been paying for stuff out of his own pocket. I ended up doing that as well. You shake your hands with a player and you agree a price, and then the club start to pull money, and it was the wrong thing to do. You lose them mentally. But like I say, he hasn't lost him at all. So
some big games coming up in that relegation battle. Cardiff got Peterborough on Wednesday. Like, that's massive. If Cardiff can get 3 points there at home against Peterborough, I think then I would agree with you that they're on safer ground. I still think Cardiff are banging it at the moment, and I got to say, the Cardiff have had about as good a window as I feel they could have with the finances they've got. I didn't expect them to bring in the players that they needed. I don't agree with the way they're kind of going about things off the pitch at the moment, but they've got a couple of strikers in. They've got young players in and around them to get the ball to the strikers. They've got Kiefer Moore, who wasn't happy to go. So I think they've done the right things in January. They've got to follow that up. If they beat Peterborough, it's going to create an even bigger cushion between them and Peterborough, because there's 9 points between Peterborough and Cardiff at the moment. I do think Swansea might get dragged into it if they're not careful, but they've got a game in hand. Peterborough and Barnsley and Reading look absolutely finished at the moment, mate. I watched, what was the Reading game I watched the other day?
They're conceding goals for fun, aren't they?
Yeah. Then defensively, they were absolute shambles. Tom Ince could potentially be a good signing, but he won't matter if they keep losing to 4-0 to QPR and 2-0 to Luton. They conceded 4 against Huddersfield, and I know Huddersfield are doing well, but 17 games is a long time though, mate. So even though there's that 9-point gap between Cardiff and Peterborough, I still think with 17 games to go, you can easily get dragged back into that. So, for instance, if Peterborough was to beat Cardiff, it's 6 points, and they've got a game in hand over Cardiff. So
the ones around them, it's big games, isn't it? If Cardiff have got to play Reading, Peterborough, Derby, or Barnsley in the last few games, they're all big games now. Then you can't be. But if Cardiff win them, that gives them a big boost and more cushion. But I think it's going to go down to the wire.
The Derby have got Peterborough in a couple of weeks.
Like I say, they'll all play each other. It's like a mini league now, isn't it? Between who is it? Possibly Birmingham as well. Possibly Bristol City as well. You could go as high as 34 points, but that's a stretch. That means they.
I think Birmingham down is probably
got to lose.
Birmingham City down looks like, I think that any of those teams can get dragged in. So we'll have to wait and see kind of who does and who doesn't. Rob says the Liverpool game for Cardiff is like an inconvenience, isn't it, in the cup, because half the players they've signed are cup tied because they played from there.
Oh, but it gives it a chance for any other lads to get a game. It's
just going to be youngsters, mate, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just going to be all
an opportunity. You go and enjoy yourselves. You're playing at Anfield.
Yeah, if you can't enjoy those sorts of games as a young footballer, I'm not sure you're in the right game at the end of the day. But
exactly.
The Manchester United Middlesbrough game fascinates me because I think Middlesbrough are going to play a weakened team. But if, like, Man United, there's going to have been a knock-on effect from everything which has gone on in the last week. Players have left. There's the Greenwood stuff. They're either going to all pull together and they're going to really kind of have that siege mentality and they're going to go on a bit of a run, or they're going to be a bit ropey and a bit up and down like they have been all season. Middlesbrough, if I'm Middlesbrough, I want to go for it myself.
I'm expecting United to come out full guns blazing. You know, they've had a good break and a full week of training. So they've had a full week to prepare for this game. So I expect them, you know, full team and an easy win.
So Craig says United have been in Dubai on holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So a nice break, but this week they've been trained all week at Carrington, so he'd have worked on stuff that he needed to work on. And it's proper like full week of training with no disruptions on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't really get that in a season because you've obviously got games, you've got cool downs, you've got warm downs, and all that kind of stuff. So he'd have got a lot done this week. So I'm expecting to come out full guns blazing, like I said.
Do you think they'll play like their full strength side, United?
Yes.
No youngsters in there, just full strength.
No, like I say, they need a break. They've had a break. What do they need to have another one for?
Again,
you know, as a player, you don't want to be sat out watching it, especially at Old Trafford, FA Cup game against a Championship side. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but you know, you're expected to win. You want to get goals, so you think Ronaldo's going to say, "No, just rest me up for this game."
Yeah,
Cavani, no, rest me for this game. They all want to play. So yeah, like I say, you've had a good week's training session and see who's up for it, and then just go from there. But I'm expecting to like a comfortable home win on weekend.
Frank Lampard to Everton, mate. Good move. All right, hang on. Can I ask you another question alongside that? Sorry. Why is Frank Lampard why is Frank Lampard going for the Everton job and being sort of revered, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not going for these jobs because their record is pretty similar? So why is one perceived as a failure but one's not? But yeah, their record's pretty much identical.
Yeah, there's no different. There's no different.
It's a media thing, isn't it? It's a perception.
It's a media thing, a perception thing. You know, everyone's a coach on Twitter and Facebook. Everyone's a manager. Everyone knows football inside out. When the reality is, they haven't got a clue. They just, you know, they think they do, or they play FIFA, or you know, I don't know, whatever. But you know, everyone's a coach and a manager these days. And yes, you know, he went 30 odd games unbeaten away from home. Not even Sir Alex Ferguson didn't that. So yeah, it's, you know, it's a perception, mate. It's straight. I do like Frank Lampard, though. I like the way he speaks. I obviously liked him as a player, but you look at him at Derby. He went to Derby when they were 6. He left. They were 6. He went to Chelsea. Give some young players a go. But
he didn't get money, did he?
Managers come in more experience, and you've seen the results that he's got by winning the Champions League. Would Frank have won the Champions League? You know, we'll never know. But yeah, we've seen it before. These managers will keep on getting jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no difference to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer than Frank Lampard. No difference whatsoever. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did he get relegated? Did he take a team relegated? Cardiff?
Technically, he got Cardiff relegated, but I think. Well, no, he did. Let's be honest. Malky Mackay was never in the relegation zone while he was at Cardiff, and then
so he's got that on his CV. So, yeah. But as comparing United managerial and Chelsea, there's no different. But you know, again, would Frank Lampard have done better if he got into them semi-finals and finals? You know, because Ollie lost a few of them. So.
Yeah, I think Everton made some good signings, mate, in the window. Bringing in Dele Alli and Donny van de Beek, they are potentially two very intelligent signings. If you need goals on paper and on previous performances at other clubs with other managers,
I was listening to Talk Sport, and I don't know which side of the fence I'm on, but I can see the point of view. You know, Dele Alli's turned up to Everton from playing at Tottenham for the last 3 or 4 years and not really done nothing, and turning up in a like 400-300 grand Rolls Royce, you know, and they were talking about it. So yeah,
he's shown in the past he's talented and he's got that ability to do something special. If Lampard can get the best out of him, then he's a good signing.
Oh,
if he plays like he has for the last 2 years, then Mourinho's broken him. But he's got to be stronger, hasn't he, mentally?
Yeah, got to be stronger mentally and just a bit of spunk, a bit of fight about him. He's like he's content.
Yeah,
the way he runs about, the way he plays. Yeah, just happy to he's just content. And that's not the Dele Alli that's seen at Milton Keynes. It's not the Dele Alli that's seen when he first come to Tottenham under Pochettino. So it's not the manager. You can look at the managers. Oh yeah, you can look at Jose Mourinho, who's won multiple leagues, and we can go on. Antonio Conte, serial winner, got rid of him. Who else is there? Any more other managers that have got CVs that are unbelievable that didn't want to know him? And all these managers, they want the players to work. So, and being a footballer, you have to run about, and especially these days, they monitor everything. So he's obviously putting the work in. He's getting a lot of money, driving about in a Rolls Royce. He's content. He's happy. But don't expect to get that go to that next level or get that better move. Just be happy with being at Tottenham, Everton, maybe Palace next or Watford. So we'll see. Yeah,
I think Donny van de Beek just wants to play, doesn't he? And I think if he can get back to
Donny van de Beek's totally different. Yeah, totally different. You've not seen every time I've seen him in United shirt, he's put his foot in, he's running about, he's working. He just lacks a bit of pace, but one touch, brilliant. He grew up with the Ajax way, so he can play football, he can score goals. He just needs a chance in. And I think if he gets a chance there, he'll do well for him.
Everton a bit all over the place off the pitch would be my only thing into if that has an effect. But I think two great signings. Like if he can get the best out of both of them,
that's why I think Wayne Rooney would have been he's turned him down, but the way he's handled the Derby situation, I think even he's looked at it and thought, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. I've got too much to handle here. But he's obvious,
Can you imagine thinking that the Derby carries off with all the stuff that's going off the field with Derby? Imagine your club comes in and you think, do you know what? I'm going to stay with Derby because it's a little bit more secure. Jesus. But I mean,
he's not. I don't think
I know
that's
what you mean, but
I don't think that's his mindset. I think he's committed now to Derby. He's emotionally involved. He's got a chance of staying up, and he's emotionally involved. That's why he's probably turned him down. He's probably not wanted to get involved. If I do have an interview, then I'm going to be Everton manager. So I'm not going to tempt myself. I'm going to put that fire out straight away and concentrate. Derby's my sole focus. And like I said before, I've said it a few weeks now. I think they'll do it. They've got something really special going on there, and hopefully they keep the players fit. Like I say, don't get too many players sent off. But there's something going on there, and hopefully does it. And it's 17 games left. So what's that? 17 games. So there's 51 points. That's a lot of points to play for. 51 points.
It's a bag load of it.
And it's 7 points from safety, so 51 points. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, and the other thing is if they stay up, and like Craig's just said there, if Mike Ashley comes into Derby, for instance, he might do what he normally does and change everything, and Rooney could be out then anyway. I don't think it would be a good decision, but the new owner might not want him.
If Wayne Rooney keeps Derby up, he is off from there. He is off. He's getting a better job than that. He's like I say, it's unheard of. He's 21. What was it? 21 points.
And do you know what it reminds me of, mate? It reminds me of when Leicester were going for the Premier League, where as the season went on, fans from other teams started to get behind Leicester because, like I said earlier, and I think Ian's just said in the chat there, it will be a miracle if Derby stay up, and as long as it's not at Cardiff's expense. I really do hope Derby stay up. And Ian says the same there. People are starting to get, because they realise what an unbelievable achievement it would be by him to be able to pull those players together. He had 13 players at the start of the season.
I know, but people, he's got his faults, but people love Wayne Rooney. They love the way he plays, the way he plays football. They love his passion. Yes, like I say, he's got his faults, but you can't fault his commitment, his loyalty to Derby County, and it's just everyone makes silly mistakes, but everyone loves him. He's like a Gaza type of everyone. You just got that lovable.
Yeah, there's something about him in there.
Yeah, it's just that it's still. Yeah,
I think it's emotions.
That type of character.
People can see the emotion.
You'd want a Wayne Rooney on your team.
Yes. GD Parry says, as long as the EFL doesn't find another excuse to hit Derby with like another points deduction or something. Can you imagine they stay up by like 2 points or something and they say, oh yeah, because of this, and this, we're deducting another 3 points.
There'd be murders. They can't do that.
You'd like to think so.
They can't do that.
Question from Owain, mate. If Dele Alli plays number 10 for Everton, where do you see Donny van de Beek playing? I think he'll play as a deep playmaker.
They can both play together.
Yeah, I think Donny van de Beek played quite deep for Ajax.
Yeah, mate. Donny van de Beek grew up playing at Ajax. He could play anywhere. That's what they do. They grow up coached that way. So, can he play deep or can he play? Of course he can. He played for Ajax. No. Just got to get him it's a good mixture and good players around him to fit. Sometimes it doesn't fit, and sometimes you've got to go somewhere else. Just the way it happens.
Yeah, not everyone is getting behind Derby. Will says Derby equals Snowgate and cheating finances for years. They deserve to be relegated.
Yeah,
bitter man.
I agree with that, but these clubs, but when
we're looking at it from Rooney's point of view, though,
we're looking at it from Wayne Rooney's for the players, all the fans, not the selfish owner who's tried to live his dream and end up ruining a football club and kind of rule the whole community, like we've seen happen at Bury Football Club, because it is a possibility. So, yeah, we want it to happen because of everyone loves an underdog, and 21 points, 13 players. Some players are proper veterans. Curtis Davies, I know Jagielka's had to leave, but bringing Ravel Morrison in, the young kids that he's brought through. All the problems that he's had.
Players.
Off the pitch, staying at the training ground. He's obviously putting the hours in. So, like I say, everyone loves Wayne Rooney, and you just hope he does it. But like I say, I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Yeah, I think they'll do it.
Ian says, what are Middlesbrough and Wickham trying to do to Derby? Basically, Derby owe Middlesbrough and Wickham money from previous transfers, and they're trying to claim the money back. But I think what a lot of people and football fans and media are kind of saying is, if they do that, then it's likely that Derby will go bust because they haven't got the money unless they get a new owner. So I think people have been quite critical to Wickham and Middlesbrough, but it's not. Look,
listen, Steve,
it's not their responsibility.
Wickham, sorry to interrupt, Sam, but Wickham and Middlesbrough are family club. Steve Gibbs is a really good owner. He's not going to take money off a club to see a club go back.
Yeah.
Bump. Same with the Wickham manager when I've seen it's Wickham chairman. So, this is all smoke and mirrors and all stuff that you read in the papers or in the media. I don't see that. Surely they can find some kind of
so that's
payment.
What it is. Sorry, mate. So Craig just clarified for me. It's not from transfers. Basically, if Derby had the points deduction at the time of the offences, Middlesbrough would have got to the playoffs instead of them. And then last year, Wickham would have stayed up. So I think that's quite a big financial and on the pitch thing as well. So I think their point, because the EFL left it for like a long time to dole out the points and deductions and things like that. it's going to get complicated.
But that's not Derby County's fault. That's the EFL's fault.
No, but Derby
dealing with it. Could they not dealt with it quicker?
Yeah, they should. The EFL should have dealt with it quicker in terms of the points deduction. But at the time that they committed the financial irregularities or the offences that they got charged with, that's Middlesbrough got missed out on the playoffs, and Wycombe would have stayed up the last year, which obviously has a financial effect on those football clubs as well. It is difficult. It is.
That's a more sticky
it's
situation.
So complex, that isn't it?
Yeah.
So I got that wrong initially when I said it was transfer.
No, that's a more stickier situation. No, it's not transfers, is it? They've been relegated. Middlesbrough, yes, they've got the playoffs, but that's not guaranteed to win it. But Wycombe,
staying up makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If Wycombe had stayed up, I could see why they'd be angry by that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm filming an episode with Wycombe defender Joe Jacobson next week as well, so look out for that. And on that front, tomorrow night I got my story with Darren Pearce coming out, so please do check that out. It's a really good episode. Got a few good ones. I did one with Lee Jarman this week, which was good. Lee Jarman was really honest actually about the obviously he was captain at Cardiff City for when he was, I think, 19, he said. And then all of a sudden, he signed a new contract, got a pay rise. He'd had 4 games as captain, went away for the summer. And then when he came back, Frank Burrows didn't speak to him for 6 months. And his career kind of went downhill a bit after that. But Lee was very honest. Really good episode, actually. Really interesting. We talked a lot about young footballers and kids in academies and some of the parents, mate. I'm sure you've come across some interesting characters with regards to parents of kids playing football over the years, mate. Have you ever entitled it?
I stay well way away from stuff like that. I've just started taking my youngest to football, and it's not. It's funny.
It's embarrassing, mate. Some of it, honestly, I don't get it.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, and it spoils it for the kid, mate. It makes the kids not want to go to football, and that is the saddest part of it. We talked about an example of there was a kid who was playing for Cardiff's academy, and he was going up, and he was driving up to Southampton to play for Cardiff, and he hadn't had a very good game, and then he'd come back, and for that 3-hour drive or whatever, or more than that it is, his dad is just going on to him about what he's got to do this and how he's not good enough and blah blah blah. And it's that kid's just not.
And his dad's never played football.
Yeah, but you know what it is. He's
postman or something.
Yeah, his dad wants him to make it so that he can pay off his mortgage. And you see a lot of parents in there who are they're not just living through their kids, but they want their kids to make it so that they can be millionaires. Do you know what I mean? And it makes me
there's that, but they don't realize that they're hampering him and they're putting added pressure on him that they don't need. And he's probably on that last hour ride home. He's probably thinking, "Fuck this, do something else. Don't need this crap."
Gaz sent me a message. He sent me a DM on Twitter because he said he's having problems with his YouTube. But he said, over your years in non-league football and playing football and stuff like that, what's the worst thing you've ever seen in a game, whether it be fights or pitch invasions, I don't know, whatever, streakers? What's the worst type of thing you've seen on a pitch?
I don't know.
Nothing springs to mind immediately.
Well, the FC United, they stormed the pitch, didn't they? And
they stoned the pitch?
Stormed the pitch.
Oh, I thought you said stoned it, chucked a load of rocks.
Doing a protest after the game.
Were you playing then, or were you manager?
No, I wasn't playing then. I wasn't. No, I was. Where was I then? I was coaching. I think I was coaching. But no, playing. I remember playing for Kurds and Ashton, and and I was playing against a team that had won 2 leagues for, won Player of the Season by Supporters Player of the Season, and this fan was abusing me. I got sent off, got changed, waited to the final whistle, and as he's walking past, I said, "Hey," and as soon as he spoke, I just went bang and smacked him right in his jaw.
Bet he wasn't expecting that.
What to do that for? What to do that for?
Because you haven't shut up for fucking 90 minutes.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I've literally got, I don't know if I got myself sent off. I was so angry that I got sent off straight in the shower, got changed, and stood there waiting for him as he walked past. And as soon as he spoke, I bang right in his jaw. But other than that, no, nothing really.
Some of the tackles I see in the Sunday League compilations and stuff.
Oh,
like
tackles!
Jesus Christ!
Tackles. When I played for Bangor City, and I was playing, is it Carnarvon or Carmarthen? Carmarvon, one of the two. I was, if someone, the best thing you could do with me is if you're playing a game, you just leave me alone. Don't speak to me, because if you in my ear, I will be like a wasp, and I'll be annoying you. I'll be, So obviously this guy's had enough of it, and he's come in. He's come in like this, like that. But I've seen him coming from like 2 yards away, so I've just like stepped out the way. But if he would have contact, it'd have broke both my legs.
Jesus.
But yeah,
I see some tackles.
He got sent off.
But
yeah, if you're going to wind people up, you've got to be kind of aware of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Going to be happening to you. So I was always wary of it. But no, that was the worst one, because if he would have connected with me, he'd have broke both my fucking legs, because the guy was a big centre midfielder, and he'd have broke both my legs, but I jumped out of the way. It's funny.
Yeah. Do you know what's worse than those tackles?
His head had totally gone. Totally gone. He must have said something to me. I'll try to be funny. And I thought, all right. So I'm just like chirping in his ear for like constant. Every time he gets the ball, he's had bad touch. You're minging you. Just constantly in his ear.
And he just went for your legs.
Yeah. And I'm like 10 stone piss wet through, and this guy's like 14 stone. He's probably thought, I've had enough of this kid. Trying to drop me down, but yeah.
He's having it. He's having it now. They, do you know, one of the worst things I see is not necessarily the tackles. It's these guys who are like, they'll dive but they're like not like a dive, like they get fouled and they stay down. I saw one the other day. It was like a Sunday League game or something, and the fullback has kind of just put his hand on the guy's arm, just to walk past him. The ball was out of play, and he's just sort of just grabbed his arm, not even grabbed it, just put his hand on his arm and walked past him, and he's fallen to the floor, rolled around like a few times, holding his face and that, and like they're all laughing, but because the ref has just seen the guy stood over him and the other guy like rolling around, I think he I can't remember if he booked him or he sent him off.
Well, so, that's bad refereeing, because he's not seen it, has he?
So he shouldn't give it, should he? But
no.
And funny enough, the other one I was going to mention, I've just seen they mentioned it in the chat. There was a guy who signed for Cardiff called Ewan Redden. He signed from like a Dutch side a few years ago, and he headbutted the ref in a friendly, and then just kind of left, never played for the club again. That was an interesting one. But
ever seen it?
South America, I've seen some refs get into it. There was the one a couple of years ago when the ref fought back.
I've had some running. I had run-ins with refs about a couple. But the worst run-in was with a charity game with a ref. Where
charity game? Come on, man.
Charity game. It was at Gig Lane, and I've just lost my head with the ref, and he got his pen out to book me, and I took his pen off and threw it at his head. And he sent me off. So that was the only time I've ever apologized to a referee. I apologized afterwards, and you know what, referee
sent off in a charity game.
My head went.
Shocking.
Sorry, it was just it's not acceptable. But I remember taking off him and just going bang right in his head.
That's quite. That's a good story, but like
that was a couple of years ago. That
it's
was
not
only a
when is
couple of
it
years
getting
ago,
setting
2 or
off in
3
those
years
charity
ago.
games. Gosh, that's recent, that is, mate, as well.
No,
Mate.
it was about 3 or 4 years ago because
can't even put that down to
it
youth.
was before that. We've had 2 years of flipping lockdowns and COVID and crap.
True.
So yeah, it's probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
That's a good one.
Gig Lane's been shut down now about a year now, 2 years.
Yeah, Jesus, it's gone quick. I'm definitely gonna have to clip that, mate. I'm afraid. Throwing.
You have to what?
I'm gonna have to clip that one. That's a good story. That is throwing a pencil at the ref's head. Like it. No,
but that's I've never done that. Was bad. That I shouldn't. You can't. But he's
can't be
proper
doing that.
annoying me. He went, oh yeah, and he's got his book out. I went, fuck off, right in his head.
It's a charity game.
No, yeah.
Was it filmed? Was it filmed?
Lads are walking on. He's saying, what are you doing? I'm like,
just shaking your head in disappointment as you walked off.
You know what it was? He was getting kicked. And I remember it now. I was getting kicked and he wasn't doing anything for it. So, you know what? I was getting proper annoyed. And then I was getting kicked and he's not give it. And they've gone away and scored. So I've gone, oh, yeah, fuck yeah. He's gone, oh, you can't. Fuck off.
Was that game filmed?
It'd
be good.
Not many of the charity games are filmed. Mind you, it was at Gig Lane, so it possibly could have been.
Do you remember what was the teams?
Oh, it was the Jet 2 All Stars who I play for. So all the Corrie lot, the Ollie Oaks, some Emmerdale, and a couple of local lads.
Charity
make up numbers.
Rhodri Giggs sent off. See if there's anything on Google.
Yeah, they won't be on. It won't be on. I'm pretty sure it wasn't filmed. They don't have them filmed because the lads don't like it.
Oh, there is a story about you in 2007 about a charity event, but that's a different story.
What is that? The Belfry that?
So like Manchester Evening News: Rhodri Giggs arrested after fight broke out at a charity event organised by Manchester United player.
Yeah, that was at the Belfry. That the guy deserved it. So yeah, I got away with that. So happy days.
Yeah, there you go. Is that the one where he approached you in the toilet you were telling me about before, which you said about on? Was that the guy who approached you like in the toilet or something?
No. This is a different guy. I was having an argument and some guy chirped in.
No,
bang! Shut up. I was drunk and it was me and Ryan were having an argument and he said something and I've just gone boom, and his nose started bleeding. He rang the police. That's why I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah. Causes problems, doesn't he?
Yeah. No alcohol, no problems.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way, mate. So if you've got any questions, guys, you've got about 5 minutes. Are we gonna discuss that other thing which we were on about the other day, the additional show that we were thinking about, or do you want to wait?
No, well, what was that?
So sorry, I can't breathe. So when me and Rhodri was talking the other day about adding an additional show, but it'll be basically like getting some guests on, but not about football. So like anything but football, basically, and just talking to some interesting people, innit?
Yeah.
Like there's, I feel like there's a gap in the market for like just to have a chat to some people, and it could be anyone, can't it? Anyone on anything, you know what I mean? It could be sports people.
We need to get someone on talk about crypto so people understand it better, don't we?
Yeah, I want
NFTs,
crypto, NFTs and crypto. See, so I would try and find some expert. That might be like one of the first episodes, 100%, because I need to learn that stuff big time. I just haven't got a clue at the moment. But
no, you can have an NFT for the show or whatever. I don't know how it works. To be honest, I need to look into it myself.
Yeah, because you can get like with the NFTs, you can get them so you can not hide, but like put content on them and stuff like that. I think.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand it enough to do anything with it at the moment. So it'd be good to get like a guest on there and kind of chat about someone who really knows like the ins and outs of it, and you can ask them questions and kind of get to grips with it. I think that's the best way to do it.
I might be able to get someone as well. Do you know, from that Coda coin that I know? I think they're doing NFTs as well, or buy Binex. So
yeah, that'd be good. See if you can get someone from that. That could be a good guest for that show. So if the people have got any suggestions for guests for the name of that show, for whatever, anything to do with it, anything like that, then do send them in, because it's an idea at the moment, but we're definitely going to do it. Still be doing this show, but just be an additional show. Something a bit different, talking about.
I think I'm going to start doing something like like just on my own as well for like 5-10 minutes. You know, like you're an MMA fan, don't you? You know, like Chael Sonnen does. Like 5-10 minute clips, talk about like in the Mason Greenwood thing, talk about 10-15 minutes, have your view on it. Anything. Mate. It could be anything.
100%, mate. You could do, I think there's, especially with you, because you've got your studio all set up as well now, like there's so much different types of content you can do, whether it's like you say, like short 10-minute videos and giving an opinion, or you can do like shorter interviews, or you can just do like all sorts of stuff. There he is. Light up the mic. You look darker today. I don't know. Have you got different lights on?
No, it's probably because I've got this hat on, you know.
Don't know what it is.
But no, I'm all in black as well. So
yeah,
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. You know, when they tell you not to wear black. So
yeah. So you're gonna. There's a new series of Big Brother coming out, mate. You're gonna go in.
Big Brother.
Yeah, come on. I reckon you should go in, mate.
I wouldn't last time. Something like that. I would. That's why I've never been asked for something like. I would drive people crazy. I would get so bored. I'll be just constantly playing tricks on people.
They're the people who, for the people watching, they do well, don't they? But the people in the house can't stand them because they do them nothing.
You could pay me £1 million. I wouldn't go on it. I'm not going on anywhere where I'm someone's guinea pig. No, it's not.
It is a bit like that, isn't it? It is a bit like that. So you wouldn't Big Brother's and no.
No.
What about I'm a Celebrity? Did you like?
No. First of all,
I think I'm a Celebrity, mate.
I'm not a celebrity. Second of all, no.
I'm a Celebrity, I reckon, could be fun, mate.
No.
But
No, I'm a celebrity. No Big Brother, no Dancing on Ice, none of that crap.
What was the one which Kev was on about? He introduced me to The Hunted. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
they won't catch me on that. No chance.
Yeah.
But it's obviously fixed that.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I saw some clips of it after.
They always seem to, you know, as soon as you get out of the van, you just throw your phone, just get a tent, and just go and live in the woods for 7 days. But they all seem to go all over the show.
Go into scent. Yeah, the more you move, the more you.
Let's go on my Facebook. No, just go in the woods for 7 days, or just get on a bike and just go. Yeah, just. But they've obviously got to sneak their heads out, but I'd be good at something like that. I'd like to do something like that. I love that program.
Yeah, but you're right though, mate, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I love that program.
If you just just go and set up camp in the middle of nowhere for a week, and you're done.
Just for 2 days, and just go on, move out, stick your head out or something, and then just go and just give them a little taster, and then I'd love to do something like that. 7 days.
So like,
and even if they did catch me, it'd have to be Mo Farah to catch me, because I'm not stopping. I'm on my toes.
Just go.
The cameraman would be off.
I get myself a little e-scooter with my walking stick, and get an e-scooter, just be bombing around on one of them.
I do enjoy that program. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is a good one. Donna says no one's a celebrity, and I'm a celebrity, so it don't matter. Yeah, it is. It's true.
True.
Gaz says name for the other pod, anything but football. Yeah, maybe. We'll
I need to start getting running up with NFL, but it's just finished, so I might.
Yeah, maybe I should do some research for like.
I don't need any research.
I know you don't.
I probably know more about NFL than I do about football.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into it. I used to watch it a bit, like, and then I just kind of fizzled out.
Big massive story at the minute. Yesterday, one of the coaches from Miami Dolphins has just been fired after 3 years of a winning record, and because he's black, he's been fired, and now he's saying that the coach was.
Is he suing them or something?
Pardon?
Isn't he suing them?
He's suing them, because he's saying the owner was offering him £100,000 to lose. So if you get a losing record, you get a better choice in the draft. And he wanted a better choice in the draft, but the coach said, "No, I'm not doing that." Then he's gone to New York for an interview, and his old coach has texted him, because they're both called Brian, and he's texted him saying, "Oh, well done, you've got the job." And he says, "I haven't took the interview yet," but they'd already given it to someone else, and they'd just given him an interview for the rule they've got in the NFL. They've got to interview black coaches, but they'd already given it a white guy before they'd even interviewed the guy. But so yeah, there's a few of them like that at the minute. So they're all coming out. So, but it's 32 billionaires who are all 70, 60 odd years of age. They're not going to change the mindset, are they?
No.
It's the same with here, mate. It's different over there, the NFL, actually, because there's 75% are all black players, and there's like one head coach who's black, who's never had a losing record. So it's the same over here. There's not many black coaches or managers over here, is it? It's
why do you think
it's not a football or NFL thing. It's a society thing. We know that. So
why do you think
he's literally sacrificed his career because he might not never get a job again? And he's a good coach. I was going to
say, with him though, like he's unlikely to get another job now, isn't he? Because of the way.
Even though he's had 2 interviews for the New Orleans Saints, and he's up for another one. Can't remember which one it was. New Orleans Saints, and I can't remember the other one.
Yeah,
there's another team as well.
Good for him, sticking to his morals, mate. And
so
didn't want to fix games. That's a good thing. More teams should want him because of his morals. But unfortunately,
I didn't really see it as that. But is it fixing games?
What if you?
It is, isn't it?
Try not to win. Of course it is. If he's not trying to win, you're losing. Like there's I'll tell you what, mate. Why don't we do a watch along for the Super Bowl? On the 13th.
Like 3 and 2 in the morning. It's in LA.
Yeah, that's all right, man.
What?
It's all right. Neither of us drink, so it's
all right. Sweet.
Stay awake.
I can do it from here. I've got a sofa bed there.
I'll have a nap before. Be all right.
I've got obviously my TV.
Yes, there we go.
So we're rocking.
Oof. I should have thought that through before I said it on a podcast, shouldn't I? It's like 3 or 4 in the morning.
It'd be 1 o'clock.
Bit of mission, but I don't know. I think
it'd be 1 o'clock because it's prime time, so it's LA, so it'd be 1 o'clock. Yeah.
On the just last thing before we finish now, mate, with the black coaches in the Premier League and the UK game generally, like, why do you think that there's not more at that top level? Because you've seen, we've seen some incredible footballers over the years of all different races, but for some reason it doesn't translate into management.
Do you think if let's say Paul Ince was Frank Lampard, do you think Paul Ince would have got the Everton job after Chelsea?
No, probably not.
Yeah, so Sol Campbell done a very good job with that. Can't get a job. So
I thought with Sol, didn't he? He started. I thought he did well somewhere, and then he went somewhere else and didn't do as well. but maybe that might be. I might have got that wrong.
Still, mate. Still, these coaches have been given chances at Derby, Chelsea.
Well, look at Roy Hodgson's just got the Watford job.
Derby, Chelsea, Everton, and we're talking about Macclesfield with Sol Campbell and Paul Ince and.
Mate, how many times have I said about the same managers getting the same jobs, and it's just a merry-go-round? You've got Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson just
manager in the league.
Hasselbank at QPR.
There's one.
He's doing a tremendous
There's
job
one
as well.
at 92.
Like you're right, Sol Campbell had to start down at Southend. Southend, isn't it?
Yeah,
And,
so there's one. So how many black owners? How many black owners in 92 leagues?
Yeah, I'd be very interested to know the answer.
Zero.
Is it zero?
Name one.
None spring to mind, do they?
No.
But like Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's doing a tremendous job at QPR. Yeah, so really turned them around.
He was a fantastic player, and he's obviously a fantastic coach. But these people need to.
They don't get the opportunities, do they?
Even Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, he's at Burton.
Yeah,
played for Chelsea, played for great teams, and he's not been given the chance at a top club. Why?
Yeah, it's like
so. But they played people like Graham Potter,
Roy Hodgson, Steve Bruce, got jobs recently.
Scott Parker, all these white up and coming young, all at top clubs. He's at Burton, so. The evidence is there.
Something's
all
got
the
to
data's
change.
there.
Do you think they should adopt what they do in the NFL?
Well, it's obviously flawed there because the teams have obviously just interviewing players, interviewing black because of the rule. That shows you that there. The New York Giants, the coach texted him saying, "Well done on getting the job" on Monday. He didn't have an interview till Thursday.
Unbelievable. It's crazy.
But he still went because he thought, no.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything, but he'd already got things in motion. He thought, you know what? He's already got things in motion that week when that happened. It's obviously that's probably the straw that's broke the camel's back, and thought, you know what? They can't be doing this. How many times are other people doing it? Just interviewing black coaches just because they've got to. It's a rule. It's called the Rooney Rule, where they've got to interview 2 black coaches.
So do you think even if you bring in a rule like that, all it does is just the clubs would see it as like just filling a ticket box?
To have a rule like that, to even have a rule like that, there's a problem.
That's the problem, isn't it? Like you shouldn't even have to, should you?
Yeah, wow.
Ludicrous.
What does it matter if you're black or white? You're a man. You're a woman. It doesn't really matter.
You're either qualified
even
to do
have
it,
a rule. Imagine you have a rule, right? So you can only switch the rule now, right? You can only interview 2 white coaches. That's it. The rest have got to be black.
Yeah.
Let's switch it round. See how they like that.
Mental.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy.
Yeah, it frustrates me because I look at Sol Campbell's a really intelligent guy. When I interviewed Emil Heskey before, I know you interviewed Emil. You had Emil on Shoot Defense before as well, haven't you? And he's a really intelligent guy, and he's working now with Leicester, and I think he's working with the Leicester women's side. But I'm sure he's doing a great job, and I'm sure he loves it. But he should be in football in the Premier League or the Championship.
It's another thing with these managers. They look at it and these players, they look at it and think, you know what? I'm not putting myself through this. I'm not going to do it. Plus, because they've got a few quid as well. Back in the day, they'd probably have to go out and do it, but we've got a few quid. Do I really want to go around the houses when I should be getting a chance at a better Championship club? People are going, you know what? I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why you probably don't see many of them trying.
And they go into TV as well. Eddie Newton is a quality example from Craig. He is rated as one of the best coaches in the UK. And I know for a fact he's gone for a few jobs, never got them. But if you speak to anyone, he's rated as one of the best coaches around. So
there's loads out there, mate. Chris Powell. You know,
yes, but yeah,
there's a few out there, but they don't get the opportunities that the Frank Lampards,
I think
of that
Eddie
ilk.
Newton's out in Turkey now. Like, he was assistant manager at Milton Keynes, West Brom, Chelsea. He's done a few stints at Chelsea as assistant manager.
Yeah. So it's an issue, not just in America. It's all over the gaff.
Yeah, I find it quite like depressing and a bit frustrating.
Over there, mate. It's 75% of the players are black. Over here, it could be like 40, 60 white, 40 black. It's probably, but over there, the majority are black players, and there's one coach.
Unbelievable.
No, there's great offensive coaches, great defensive coaches, but they don't get head coaches. They give them other guys.
No, I just look at on about Eddie Newton, mate. Right, he's just taken over at Trabzonspor in Turkey. Yeah, so he's the manager there now. He was assistant previously, but like, he's an ex-Cardiff City footballer. Like, if he's so highly rated coach-wise, which he seems to be, why isn't he? Why wasn't he? Why hasn't he gone to Cardiff? And not to say that Steve Morrison shouldn't be there. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't compute.
Mate, until people are educated and it goes into schools and it'll always be a problem. Always.
Craig says, how many of the PFA board are black? I'm not sure. Is Carlisle on the PFA board? I think he is.
Anymore, he's not.
He was previously, but like, and this is the problem, isn't it? It's from the top right down.
Yeah, it's not. It's a society issue. It's not. It starts from the top. These owners, it's the same. Yeah. They've got 10 white guys and one black guy. They're pretty sure they're going to go with the white guy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not going to go with the best candidate for the job.
Yeah, it should be though, shouldn't it? And I think that's why everyone gets frustrated by and yeah. Craig says Eddie Newton. Oh, don't tell me that. That just fucking annoys me. Eddie Newton was interviewed for the Cardiff City job, but they gave it to Neil Harris. Fucking hate Neil Harris. Anyway, right. It's just made me dislike Neil Harris even more. But Eddie Newton, mate, it's frustrating, that is.
Yeah, so you got to go to like places, Turkey, man.
Turkey,
better sun.
Yeah, that's it. Nice, better weather, and still he's got one education, mate. By the way, that Eddie Newton's having though as a football manager, or as a coach. Like, he's been assistant manager to people like Gus Hiddink. He started off, down sort of lower leagues, and then he went to West Brom as assistant. Like, he's having tremendous education as a football coach and someone who was a really good footballer, for Chelsea for like best part of 10 years, played like nearly 200 games. To Milton Keynes Dons and West Brom, Chelsea, then under a few different managers. So hopefully he'll get the opportunity to like get that big job. But I'm sure people like Roberto Di Matteo and all these other players will continue to get Tony Mowbrays of the world, and they'll get the opportunities. Roy Hodgson, young up and coming manager.
I've lost your sound.
Yeah, mate. I'm finishing up now anyway, mate.
1 minute.
I'm gonna go. Rhodri Giggs, what a legend. Appreciate you as always, mate. Thank you to everyone who's commented and liked and all that good stuff. We will be back next Thursday. Darren Pearce, My Story, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, YouTube or all the podcast platforms. I'll be back Sunday with the Fight Show. We got the Welsh bare knuckle poet, James Lilly, joining us. So please do come and join us and say hello. Cheers, guys. Appreciate you as always. Nice one.
Giggs. Giggs. No.